Hey, Happy New Year. Happy 2022. All you true scalpers out there, and we're back with our first live stream of the year. First of many. And I say thank you to everybody for joining us today. And back on it, because this week is, of course, NFP week. And this is the build up to it. Starting today, just look at the economic calendar. We're going to be trading the ISM manufacturing PMI and the JOLTS job openings from members' results, and also later on tonight we'll be doing the IPA crude oil, as oil is in the news at the moment with the OPEC announcements and meetings. Oil looking to skyrocket even more, trying to get back to that $100 a barrel. But before we do that, we're going to look at the open, which is in about 30 minutes time. We've had some good scalping this morning already on the DAX, so we'd already done a fair few trades, as there was some German news this morning looking to achieve. We did about 12 trades already, all green, which is a nice start to the year. We kind of traded on this pre-market news, unemployment and the retail sales, which obviously was a sell pre-market, and we took the buy on the open. And then once into the session, we actually took more buys again on the unemployment change data as well. And some people could have traded the British pound against the dollar cable. When we had the manufacturing PMI come out, it was all good news, and in fact I was looking at that and it's just a few pips, but as you can see, look, it's actually come good now and hit our level. So this is where the news came out. It's 4 or 5 pips where it dipped down on you, so you would have come out of the trade and then you could have gone back in again on here, so for another 4 or 5 pips. So that would have been a nice little win as well. Could have gone in on the K100. Well, see here, it was the open, skyrocketed up, and then I was 30 AM time here, and you can see it's a reverse drop, nice sell, then you could got in on the buy once it broke our level, going back up. So UK 100 going the opposite. See, just bang. That could have been a good, 100 points. Look, 10 pips. Doing the reverse, which is what usually happens with the consumer credit. Then the market picks back up again. But like I say, for the next 30 minutes, we're going to look at the US 30 and gold. As you can see on our AX trading system here, again, we're on our 3-minute time frame as always. We've got all the information we need just to trade on one time frame. Don't need to look at different various things. We're bullish already. We've got a nice break from 2 hours after the open. And line here, there's already plenty of pips. There was a nice double top. And a second leg M here, look. Now we're stuck in a range, as we know, just before the open. See, price is going to bounce off our trend line, go back to our retest, our resistance zone, which you can see is around about 36763. We're looking for 100 points on the open. That would do. So it depends on where this is sat in the next 20-30 minutes. If we're green, as you can see, we're above our baseline, we're above our neutral zone. Our size looking good. Already had a cheeky re-entry. We could have gone in for 100 pips on here. So we're in a nice range. So on the open moment, I'll be looking to take a buy, see if we can get back and test this, unless we get a break of our trend line. And then we'll wait for the news. And then we're going to look at gold. Gold again, it's been performing really well. At the moment it's not doing the reverse, not correlating it. It's on its way back up again, suggesting there could be a downside. But again, look where it is, around about the 1800. No surprise there. It's like a magnet the whole year. Last year 1800 was kind of the key level. You see we had a TP hit earlier on. It broke our trend line here. Here would have been a perfect entry point. Forex trading system, a break of the trend, support level hit. Could have taken TP1 here, and then you could have taken a second TP at our breakout zone, this dotted green line, which is kind of the range bound average between the sell and the buy. You can see here, look, so once it breaks a key level, we know we're going to get some movement. You could have got in here as well and still gone in for, you know, 5 to 10, 170 to 300 points there. 100 is more than enough. I think I would have got out. And again, you stop loss would have been below our level. That stop loss big on. So that was a nice little trade. Could have grabbed. Again, there was entries on the sell here. Look, there was 2 sells and there was a buy. Two sells, 2 buys basically already within the last couple of hours. And from the open, there was a nice steady buy and a nice sell again. So some good trades on gold already, and some of the guys in the group really well today on it. So nice steady start to the trading year. You can see about 50 minutes or so to the news out together. We're hoping we'll get a result the same direction as always, as it's after open. Obviously trade the way off the news. Just a quick look at what we've got coming up tomorrow. And we've got the market composite PMI, and market services, the French and the German is what we'll trade in the thing. After look open, we ignore the Euro 1, ignore Italy. And then we've got the forerunner to NFP, which is the ADP, employment change, always a good one trade, and the US market composite. And then we've got the EIA crude oil that we trade every week as well. And then obviously the Fed minutes, where we see make sure you don't trade unless you're crazy scalping as the Fed is speaking. And then there's some Aussie news to trade. So tomorrow's looking really good. Skip on to Thursday, we've got the time, and again we've got construction PMI, factory orders for the German and cable UK 100. So that's good to check out as well. Inflation. Then you've got the jobless claims continuing, weekly one. And the balance of trade, which we like to trade as well. It all comes at the same time, so we've got to take the high impact ones. Factory orders, and we've got the ISM non-manufacturing PMI as well. So busy, and then obviously that leads up to Friday. Friday we've got the big one, our favourite NFP will be live for that couple of hour live stream. Show you guys how you can trade NFP and win. Important. It's going to be an interesting result. It's looking positive, looking to get back to some kind of normality, even with the inflation in the picture still being high. So 400k is the kind of consensus from 2 to double. So this will be interesting as well. We're back today, like I say. Let's have a quick look at US 30. That's decided to break. Look already. There you go. Here could have been a nice trade that you could get in on right now, and good up to our resistance level of 100. See if we can up. We RSI 77. Again, it's always a weird time. You don't want to be holding any trades coming up to the open. We've got about 15 minutes to go. See, it's right on our breakout zone, just weeks above it. Scalp, see, we're obviously in bullish territory. So the kind of buy I was looking to try and grab on the open, breaking a new high, as you can see. Minor resistance and heavy resistance is 368. See, so I nip in and out, sing around too much because of the time. So I was kind of looking to take some buys on the anyway. Size 77, 78. You can see here, look, the line where it was price before, which was 6 and 7, so about now. Again, do anything crazy. Simple. Talking. Can go. Just gonna. That. So I still hanging 77, pushes to 78. That would. Nice little pull for the open. Quite nice. Watching. Slay. $50 minutes to go. Breakout zone, it's nice little distance you can see there. Flipped. Nice. What does they get? $15 on that little one. So it's just dipped out, you see 74. So goes back light green again, we can get in again. It's new. Get Bloomberg on as always, keep an eye on it all. So Apple, yeah, we want to use it, everything else is looking good. Go, survey coming up. In cases of COVID, as we know, the Omicron, the stock sector higher hopes, everyone's quite positive. ISM expected to cool a little, so could get some sales on that. And then we've got the OPEC, which I talked about earlier, to do with the oil price as well. So this price action to see if we can just, you know, hit that.
But don't expect anything very brand new. Already we got an update from the White House in
Update
December about
isolation
that was going to be
guide
500 million rapid tests sent to American homes, as well as pop-up testing centers like you see in New York City. On top of that, sending more personnel to hospitals that are getting a bit overcrowded. So that is likely what we're going to get an update on. But Jonathan, we're also waiting to hear potentially of the CDC. Are they going to backtrack?
Gold backing down a little bit, getting spiked up, a nice zone there.
You are
Again with a nice M to W pattern, as you can see.
That's what CNN
Perfect.
says is potentially imminent.
The communication around this AMH has been absolutely confusing, to be kind, incredibly confusing. Dr. Amish Adalja of Johns Hopkins said this in Politico overnight. I want to read it in full for our
Quite a
audience.
double bottom,
Supply
but it's
constraints
still
we now
the W
face
pattern.
on testing are not excusable.
After a
They were
nice
completely predictable and had been
short
evident months ago. The
M,
country and the administration needs to explicitly come to terms with the fact that the post-pandemic world is not 2019, but a world in which COVID-19 is ever present, he goes on to say, but manageable due to the knowledge and tools, vaccines, monoclonal antibodies, antivirals, rapid tests, scientists and physicians have provided us. Anne-Marie, does the administration need to change tact here and get away from just the monster vaccine push of the last 12 months and shift to something more complete, something beyond just vaccines?
Well, you see them taking those baby steps to do that in December, but it really was a U-turn. Do you remember that press conference, Jonathan, in early December?
So US30 just again, gone up, ranged a little bit, that's fine. RSI 72.
Taking the cue from what Europe has been doing for a year, sending
Nice if we can get to this resistance level, the open, that's what would be nice. It depends, it's probably going to go either way, to be honest. If you will have a look at the latest change, 0.53, look as you can see, so there's room for the US30 to dip down, our trend line, and then bounce as well, so.
Because we know that there is a big shortage of testing in the United States, and especially before the holidays, people were really just desperate to get their hands on them.
Anne-Marie, AMH down in Washington, thank you. If you're wondering why the jacket's off, I will explain. I knew you were going to go there. If you're wondering why, I mean, my cameraman right now is in a t-shirt. The heating was left on overnight. As you know, Anne-Marie, the studio gets very, very warm.
You got to suit up for the open, John. I expect the jacket back on at 9:30.
I was the first one to come in here at about, I don't know what it was, 8:45 Eastern time, and it's toasty. Let's just say that. Anne-Marie, go away. AMH down in Washington. Anne-Marie, thank you. Let's get to some research from JP Morgan and Mislav Matejka saying the following. The dip driven by the Omicron scare should be brought into. The new variant is proving to be milder with the prior ones and the adverse impact on mobility much more manageable.
Yep.
Let's get the view of Matt Miskin. And when he sees it, Matt, I don't see the dip. I mean, I think that's the problem, Matt. Where is the dip? There hasn't really been one, has there?
No, I don't think there is much. And what dip? I don't see a dip. I mean, that's
where's the dip?
With the buy the dip mentality right now. There is no dip. I mean, we're right near all-time highs, and I think that's what's hard about putting capital to work. I mean, you really had to be here and positioned.
That where was the dip? Apart from back here,
that's really what we're trying to
had our TP set.
From last year's is maintaining those themes we were already talking about. And risk is already priced.
See, it's just been steady, retest, bang, there you go.
Conditions about as loose as they can be. High yield spreads about as
right.
as they can be. So to us, you got
Good opportunities. Let's hope we can get a break on this. It's nice to break our breakout zone and go to the next level. And
for that, you got to be
nice.
Sitting in the right position going into 2022.
Winnie, Matt gets the benefit of operating across asset classes, looking across regions around the world, across geographies.
Strong.
If you're just in credit in the United States right now, and you're watching this conversation, what do you advise people to do, Winnie? What are you telling people to do? Because some people, if they've got the option, they're elsewhere. They're not even going there.
I think that makes a lot of sense. But within U.S. credit, and there is a large investor
We've got 6-7 minutes to go.
Credit, continue to prefer credit risk over duration risk. That means high yield over investment.
Grab 2 trades there, did on that little buy.
Continue to move
19, 20 pound, about $30 there, look.
If you're an IG investor, the double B universe, if you can buy that crossover trade, it looks pretty attractive, all things considered. You know, stick with the cyclicals, the energy trade, we continue to look pretty favorably upon. And anything longer duration, really low yielding, is probably going to see some pretty significant spread volatility if we continue to see the type of uplift in U.S. Treasury yields that we've already started.
Yeah, let's have a look at silver as well.
People have talked about the rising stars
From the UK one to silver.
For the people not familiar with the jargon, the lingo of the credit market.
Silver had a double tap, look at that, and then bounced off. Pure perfect on our axe trading system. Our zone look was bang on. Top there, $23 an ounce.
What are your thoughts on it?
Tested it. Dropped, ranged, basically dropped
to
the
go. It's been interesting.
hit our heavy support zone, bounced up, and here's our breakout zone. Like I say again, look, once it breaks that breakout zone, away we go.
So upgrading
So with the bottom side of our trend line at the moment, so we could see a drop on silver. Size 69 still fairly bullish. We've had 1, 2, 3 entry points for buys.
We still have a number of issuers in the high yield market that we think are on path.
Again, we look for 150. Look, so there's more than enough
the big question
on
is,
this. So
management teams really
again, we could get an interesting spike on. Yeah, might be worth. It's going to be a buy or a sell. We'll wait and see. See how the RSI looking really bullish at the moment. 81%. Could get a nice push. 200 points on the open.
Winnie, I just want to go over what you just said. You're suggesting that borrowing costs are so favourable right now in high yield. Why would you put in the extra effort
on the broker?
What does that tell you about financial?
Let's have silver in there then as well. Let's see.
Rate hikes coming and coming quickly this year.
Yeah, it's on a key. It's on a key resistance level at $23.
And when you look at the difference in borrowing costs in high
as you can
yield
see,
right now,
but there's enough there for it to move 22.9 to 22.967. That could be a nice little buy. 5 minutes to go till we enter some trades. Look at that. There you go. Look at that push now. Perfect.
Call it 3 to 5 years. So there's a lot of flexibility, especially in the high yield market, where issuers have really kind of put their balance sheet.
Always a big spread on silver. That's the problem.
And really lowered borrowing.
Get a nice move like that. Nice candle. The RSI gets into that zone.
To get that upgrade.
Winnie Caesar sticking with us alongside Matt Miskin, and understand we're trying to get Jonathan Golub on the phone for around the opening bow. Don't miss that. He's got a big call on this market. 5,200 on the S&P year end this year, just short of the high. The biggest call on Wall Street right now, the biggest bull, is Oppenheimer. They're looking for 53.30. Golub and Credit Suisse at 5,200. Coming up, the morning calls and later, some of the world's biggest investors voting in favour of value over growth stocks this year.
US 30 again. Yeah, US 30. Look, going to get this push up. Now, like I say, if you miss it, it doesn't matter, because if you get the drop, then all we do is buy the dip. As I was just saying, if this comes down, you can cancel your trade, take your loss, or you can hold it and then wait for the bounce up. I would only have my trade if the price actually finishes below our trend line. Obviously, we're in bullish territory here, so that's how you've got to see it. And that's the same for whether you're trading gold, silver, whatever. It's the same system. This up. Everything could go bullish then bearish, you know what I mean? We could get a nice look at where.
When you think space, you probably think one space agency that travels under the radar is ESA, which is surprising considering what the European Space Agency has achieved and how vital it is to the global.
Going to break that zone. Be nice. You're going to look for 100, like I say, 50 to 100.
But ESA wants to be a leading force in furthering humanity's mission into space.
Gold and silver are going to drop a little bit, possibly. No, gold's still looking positive. Silver's wicked down, but still could retest this zone here, so I'm going to hold that. Let's see. Got a couple of minutes yet, so there's no panic, not entering any trades yet.
Humanity take its next giant leap.
Coffee's on. One minute to go.
Some good news, the aircon's coming through. My cameraman Matt, still in just a t-shirt though. We're getting there, Matt. Equity futures right now positive about 1/3% on the Russell, up 0.4 on the Nasdaq, up 0.2. Where are we? About 5 minutes away from the opening bow. Switch at the board to get to the bond market. Lots to talk about. The worst start for a 10-year Treasury to start the year, going all the way back to 2009. Big move yesterday, up 12 basis points. This morning, up another 4, pushing 170 on 10s at 167, breaching 80 at the front end on 2 years yesterday. Just short of that right now at 78. Yields higher by a couple of basis points. That's the price action in equities and in bonds here in the morning calls. We begin first up with Credit Suisse, upgrading GE to outperform. The analyst recommending investors take advantage of recent declines ahead of this year's cyclical recovery. That stock is up 1.92% at $98 and almost 10 cents. Next up, Guggenheim upgrading Coca-Cola to a buy, expecting a leaner, more agile company this year with a portfolio focusing on larger, more profitable brands. And finally, Wolf Research downgrading JP Morgan to peer perform. The analyst seeing a more balanced risk-reward profile with potential threats from tougher regulation. Up next, a growing chorus on Wall Street making a case for value in 22. That conversation next. This is Bloomberg.
Let's see what we can get. Good luck, everybody. See if there's going to be any kind of bull action on like I say, if you miss out, don't worry, you can just cancel your trade and go back in again on the dip or the high, the candle, which I'll show you. So let me just set all this up. Some dips, I reckon. We get where we need to be, but that 1 minute late. There's your index.
Imagine diabetes without routine finger pricks. With the Freestyle Libre 2 system, you can do it with your phone. See your current glucose level anytime, anywhere. Know where your glucose
About 30 seconds away. You see there's already a bit of price action, a bit of movement. But you see, when you get the candle comes down here, I'm going to buy more here. I'm expecting a bounce off our trend line. So RSI 71 ranging around. Gold's dip look, but again still potential to move on up. There'll be 50 points. Look at that, 61. You can adjust our TP. Here, look. There we go. And we've already had, oh yeah, US 30 has already hit target. There you go, perfect. Already hit 100 on that. Yeah, we got $100 on that. That was that, what, 30 seconds. Done. Point. So US 30, now it's ranging around, but look at that, see? Going to get back in on that for sure, but there's the opening 2 trades, there's the bounce off our trend line, you see. Now we'll just wait for gold and silver. Let's have a look. I'm catching trades on this lot. What's US 30 actually? Yeah, look at that spike up. Perfect on you. They just buy the bottom, wait for it to dip. RSI 74. Plus 75. Going in. See, it goes 76. Price action. Look at that spike. Hit the TP. Perfect. Just as I said. I mean, you couldn't get better than that. Look at that. Perfect example how we get it spot on. Wait and watch and see. Wonder if that's going to completely be a wick filler. 78. When it's going to get higher.
London, in Sydney, in San Francisco.
9 a.m. in Beijing and Shanghai.
Good morning, everyone.
Have a great evening. to recap the headlines.
You do not want to miss this
How are you
story.
thinking about those
Because we'll
dynamics?
take the sell as well. We'll get the reversal. Grab that.
Every Friday with 30 minutes
Yeah, 80. I got another $50 there. Just caught the sell on that wick down. On the US 30 as well. Just press that. Caught the pullback.
22 seconds away from the opening bell in New York City this morning. Good morning to you all. Here's the price action. Equities up 16, advancing a third of 1% on the S&P. All-time highs in sight. Your Nasdaq up 25, advancing around about a tenth of 1%. There's the opening bell. Switch up the board and get to the bond market.
Go the opposite way.
Shaping up as follows. Yield time
See what we can
yesterday,
get on the buy because we're into the zone look.
basis points to 167.17 on 10s.
Most important. And I think that people make this mistake that when they see inflation, they see higher expenses for companies and margin pressure. In reality, that inflation also shows up in higher
Yeah,
revenue.
they're very optimistic.
John, you see margin upside though, and that's what I think is interesting about this.
Brilliant,
call.
brilliant,
Where do you
brilliant.
see margin
Oh,
upside?
another $150 there. We just caught.
John, or is it
Perfect.
No,
US 30. Look at that. Perfect.
If we break the
Can't get
market
better
into
scalping than that.
big basket, the cyclical
That's bang on.
stocks, think about energy companies, materials companies, metal and mining, even industrials and discretionary, retailers. Those areas.
What did we get on that? We actually got 57 and 45, so we got about $150 on that buy on US 30. 2 trades again.
So those areas with lots of fixed overhead are going to see the most margin upside. Where you're not going to see margin upside, and surprisingly, is not tech. They don't.
Yeah, open done for me.
It's just not as economically sensitive. They don't move with commodity prices. And so they'll be fine. They're just not going to be as good.
Next.
John, one thing you and I have worked on
And we're watching
we've seen breakout in treasury yields after breakout in treasury yields, then yields back lower again.
gold
Just this
and
relationship
silver.
between the bond market and valuations in the equity market. John, you've
Damn, that was good. That was a nice, smooth open, you see. Even though we're looking bullish, we took the buys, we grabbed a couple of nice sales. So I did, trades I did now that, sorry. Did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades. Three trades, double my positions. So we took 4 buys, 2 sales, and we've managed to bag, say, probably $300 there in 5 minutes of trading, 6 minutes. That's not bad. Look at that spike. Look at that. What I'm talking about. It's actually hit our TP2 there. We could have had. It's hit heavy resistance. So this is where, if this spikes up, you can wait now, and then you can get the sells in on that as it's going to wick down. Yeah, and just getting, as soon as the RSI hits that 75, you're in. Most people are looking to take sells. We're looking to take the buys. With a continuation. At the moment, you might get a sell because it's going to reverse down on you, but let's have a look at gold. Let's see if gold's going to bounce. And in fact, I want to look at silver because silver looks like the one where we could get a cheeky buy up to our TP here. Look, like it wants to push up. RSI, I just noticed that on my silver screen. Excuse me. It's set as book open.
That drifts higher but remains negative. That's removing accommodation, but ultimately is not tightening. So, John, I'm trying to understand from your perspective, when you think that Federal Reserve policy becomes restrictive, what does that look like in real terms for the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, if I
go and
that we had
seem to see silver and gold.
CPI, consumer inflation, and 10%.
I'll give it one big push. One big push.
Producer inflation, that's the inflation that companies are seeing. And then 12% inflation on imported products, which is what we're experiencing. And I said, okay, what would be the appropriate Fed policy for that? You would say that the rate should be 5 or 6%, some like really high number. So,
Silver both looking to push up.
No longer buying,
yep, look at that spike up.
no longer doing
RSI 65 on gold.
no longer putting more kerosene on this burning fire. If they even raise rates 2 or 3 or 4 times and they get to 1% going to run the economy.
I'm bearish on gold and silver ahead of this news.
Of what's been historically average, so it's almost anything the Fed does this year. We're going to end up with policy that's going to be.
Yeah, I was waiting to see. I'm just
easy given the economic
holding.
So if the Fed raises rates 2 times or 3 times or God forbid 4 times, you still have a very
I think it's going to touch that, retest that level.
Final point, and I think that's where the conversation is going to gravitate towards over the next couple of months as well. What is actual?
Got 20 minutes yet until the news.
Start to think about financial conditions. Hey, John, thank you, sir, and thanks for bearing with us through those technical difficulties. Jonathan Golub there of Credit Suisse. Your equity market 48.16, let's call it 48.17 on the S&P. All-time highs with more. Here's Abby.
Well, John, you know, one of the big questions of 2021 is one of the big questions of 2022, and that is, of course, whether or not value can finally...
Brilliant. TP hit on silver. There you go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Caught the buy there. Got 32 and 36, so another $100 there on the gold. On silver, sorry. Silver. Go. Got the buy.
Over the last 5 years, so really a big difference there. As for what could be,
As like I say, I thought it was going to break that zone, and it did.
Shows that about
It hit that TP perfectly. Let's see if we can finish off with gold doing the same.
2022, and then a very large slice, 25% to other, probably a mixture of various sectors. But the idea here
I was looking to push up. Look.
Let's see whether or not the trend over the last 2 decades, though, John, can be broken. Because over the last 2 decades, value has absolutely underperformed.
Nice little trade on silver.
Really at an all-time low right now. But between 1980 and 2000, it was the other way around. So who knows? Maybe 2022 will be the beginning of value's resurgence.
Abby, great work. Thank you.
RSI is going to get to 67, 68.
So thanks for the patience from both of you over the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, look at that. It's nice. Nice wick up. Hit that heavy resistance and backed off. So it's perfect. The news here, look.
The Fed could take it at 1% this year. And in John's mind, it doesn't really matter what they do this year. They're still going to be providing accommodation for a market economy that is still incredibly hot. Can I get your
Look at that. US 30 now. Look at that. Smashing. Perfect. Look at that. We got back in on the bar. I wasn't watching the screen. Look at that. So that could have been another re-entry on US 30 now. Look.
And that's going to potentially even invert the curve. I know that the 10-year's jumping here right now. But if growth does decelerate, and if God forbid
it would be bullish
environment, stocks correct. I mean, that is normal. You could see the yield curve invert later this year. And
nice re-entries on the RSI.
And so we would be more careful, more thoughtful around allocating risk. You know, I think the growth versus value discussion is really interesting. Financials right now are going to be the linchpin of that discussion. In our view, financials are one of the most momentum sectors, or the highest weight in the momentum indices, and yet earnings estimates are deeply negative. It's the only sector out of the 11 sectors to have negative earnings growth estimates into 2022. So there's a
just wants to break. It was 1807.
That's our one to watch if you like value.
Just ranging a little bit.
We're more cautious.
Yeah, we don't know what the news is going to be. Of course, it's predicted to be obviously worse than expected for the jobs and the manufacturing, so that would be a buy for gold and silver. If so, if this is, you know, as predicted or worse, then let's see. So it's already costed in. Be worse. 66 from 61 last month, from 108 from 10.8 from 11 million job openings. So this will be interesting to see.
Trend that a lot of people are expecting into inversion. I think
gold just backing off. It's still just ranging, sat on that support level. It's quite a tasty support level.
And the Fed gets its bearings around.
RSI's dipped quite a lot though. So again, it's going to be just kind of wait now for the news. Got no trades running. I was hoping to grab a little trade on gold, but it didn't happen. There's nothing. It's kind of the danger zone. You want to be looking for a sell here. We want to be looking for the buy if we get a break back up. But at the moment, we'll be sitting waiting.
The other side of the trade should be the one that you're looking at, and that we think that you could see a little bit of steepening, given that the front end has gotten a bit overdone when it comes to rate hiking expectations.
Interesting. It is very difficult to find consensus right now in the bond market, I have to say. Much more fascinating than the usual. Everyone's got the same thing to say about the same thing in the bond market. Woody, thank you. Woody Caesar, Matt Miskin there on this bond market, and the difference between them on whether one expects a flat curve inversion, the other slightly steeper. This morning, Yields are higher. Yesterday up 12 basis points on 10s, right now up 4 to 167 on a 10-year yield. On 2s, just short of 80 at 78, up a single basis point. We need to talk about oil too. Crude in focus with OPEC agreeing to boost production.
The question is, I think, basically more not if, but when
Looking
we
at
will
now,
exceed
oil
the peak we had prior to the pandemic, and
hit TP on.
Do you think
Oil.
the largest investment banks in the world, who are making more money trading than
The oil, look at that, got up to that 77. It's trying to push back now on all this news. Got the news, we've got the oil news to trade tonight as well, which we'll do. So, West Tech. Looking good though. Yeah, we're doing well so far. Basically 8 trades on the open, I think. 1, 2, 5, 6, yeah, 8 trades. 6 on US 30, 2 on silver, and gold we didn't take, but we might take gold yet. Let's just take and wait for this news and see.
We know that it's highly transmissible. We know that 2 doses of vaccines, Pfizer vaccine specifically, neutralize the virus, but not as efficiently, because various studies showing that reduction up to 40-fold, meaning that a 3rd dose is a must for it to successfully
Gold, yeah, it's backed off, look.
What we don't know is still that
Forming that
what are the effects
M pattern, you know, so after coming from the W second leg, so will we get a bounce off our breakout zone or off our resistance zone? Yeah. And then it's going to maybe retest, or pulling back more, maybe something like this. Neutral zone, look, you see.
And most of the time, when you translate it to real world, the data changes. So it will be really good to look at large scale data of the ability of antibodies from vaccines to neutralize.
Again, if you're taking any positions, your stop loss wants to be below our breakout zone here anyway. You can see it's a flat part of the our baseline, so if you was say, you know, so I can show you how that's where your risk would be.
We got from all these studies which came recently, the past couple of days.
So that is where I would have it to be ultra safe. So you can be holding all round here really. This is where your target ideally wants to be, is the heavy resistance. So you could set for that. It's 1811. It just depends on this news, what this news is going to do. Gold.
You can enter phrases or ask questions. What do you want to know today? Ask a question or visit SearchGo to find answers now.
Level at 1809. It's got to break. Your first. You set with IC markets, you can have 4 TPs, so you could have that as your TP1, TP2, and just split between then TP3 if you think it's going to go to 1813. Vice versa. Comes out of the zone here, you can end the trade and a loss obviously, and then re-enter the sell here. This is going to come down and be a lower M, centre M down to our neutral support zone. So again, just watch RSI. RSI is your key indicator, key trigger. You just see it went dipped in the neutral and now it's back green again. So it's kind of as we'd expect it to be, ranging around. So
off the back of the meeting with demand proving resilient against a new COVID variant. Bloomberg's Julian Lee
we
joins
go,
us to discuss more. Julian, let's just start with the meeting. Anything to see here? What was the big change?
There really wasn't. I mean, I think, you know, the if you can call it a big change, the big change was the lack of dissension. It was a very quick meeting again. The last few have all been very quick. This one simply rubber stamped what they had previously.
Beautiful manoeuvres on US 30 though, look at that. Now again, you could re-enter again. Could have gone in on again on this, on the buy.
Very quick, very smooth.
zone just already played US 30, so that was another 5 to 10 pips. We're only 10 minutes away from the news, so I'm in no rush. Like I say, you don't have to take every single trade that's there, but that would have been another good one. You know, I'd have got in.
Have we seen a demand drop-off in the last couple of months with this scare or not?
It seems as though we might have seen a bit of a drop-off. Certainly some of the mobility data that we look at, the high-frequency data on traffic congestion, on flight numbers, suggests that there has been a bit of a downturn over the holiday period. We're certainly seeing lockdowns in Chinese cities as they pursue their sort of zero COVID policy. So there may have been a bit of an easing. But what I think is really striking is that if you look at OPEC's forecasts for the first quarter, and you know that's what they use to make their decisions, while they are still forecasting a surplus, that surplus has
again, you know, you sat on you're right on that resistance zone. Your stop loss is going to be just on our breakout zone, and again, I know my TP is going to be that breakout, which again, right there, look, quite a good setup.
As well as
again, you could move your wrist there, but I'd keep it just there below the breakout zone. I might extend it actually to the down to the just below our baseline. Look, yeah, though it's flat. Obviously, you could go in again. Next break there. Look, on here would have been another long as well.
Left to fill. Bloomberg reporting economist Philip Jefferson is likely to get one of those seats from this White House. For more,
there's a nice level to sit your stop loss. Again.
Go on.
Glad to see you got the jacket back on, Jonathan. It's business time. So we are waiting for those Fed decisions, but we are.
There would be all three nice little trades there. Bit of a sell previously here as well.
The Fed has really faced a lot of criticism about the lack of diversity, especially
waiting for that break outside the zone. There's the candle I would have got in on. Stop loss would have been easy to assess, just either the flat or I would have been just above our blue resistance zone. EP, like I say, would be my just above our neutral support.
And the elevation of Governor Brainard. Then we're waiting for the other two. And
You
this
see
morning,
crash there. So
is reporting
that was a nice easy sell as well.
Does seem to be the top choice for the supervision position.
It's easy, you know. I know it's easier with back testing, but this is where you would be.
For the president to make sure he gets someone that the progressives
gold.
agree on. And in December, we reported when
Brilliant. Okay, what did it? Just nipped in and out of gold there. Got £15, $20. I just grabbed. I was talking to you. There you go. Look, there's the push up. There you go. So,
we're still waiting for the third, but when it
look, cheeky $20. All adds up. This is what true scalping is about. While I was talking to you.
That has no public events. So maybe in 24 hours we'll know.
Senator Warren getting a win, maybe. Anne-Marie, just on the policy front, what is it the policy that this administration wants from this Federal Reserve? Have you got your hands around that? We can have this conversation about diversity. That's important, of course it is. But what
all adds up.
The policy of these officials, and isn't that why this pick of
that's $20 after I've paid commission and spreads and stuff and everything. So that's my profit. You know, it's actually more than that because it was 12. It was about $22. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's keeping the scalping real. We'll almost hit our TP for the day in terms of target. So you see here, look, it doesn't matter where you took that buy from. You should be getting out of the trade. You know, you've got a juicy level here of support that you really want to break before you get out of the trade. So you expect drawdowns, fine, but until price breaks our baseline, why would you be ending the trade? You know what I mean? It's got to neutral zone, backed off, it's bounced up again. And if this goes into our light green, we're going to take a buy again. But
go away, Anne-Marie. Good to see you.
Just the example of just giving you, you know.
Boiling. AMH, thank you
Perfect,
very
look.
much. About 21 minutes into the session, equities positive a third of 1% on the S&P, up 16. Let's get you the sector price action. Here's Critty.
Well, good morning, John. And on the surface, it really does look like a broad rally, and it really looks like a recovery rally is what's leading. Energy, financials, those are going to be your leaders today. But look at your laggards. A lot of that defensive nature, real estate, utilities, they are at the bottom of the leaderboard. Healthcare really taking it on the chin. A lot of that has to do with biotech in particular. But what the sector story doesn't tell you, you can see with the individual movers. Ford, for example, is going to be your big mover today. 3% gains in just the first 21 minutes of trading. This coming after they're doubling their factory capacity for their electric F-150 Lightning to 150,000 trucks a year, and we'll start taking orders this week for the model. Here's why it's important. Because when you look at automakers broadly, they've been under pressure for most of 2021 because of that semiconductor shortage. Then when you had Tesla kind of help those gains along with the EV boom, you saw the likes of Ford, GM trade higher. Now the rally is being led by Ford as they really kind of embrace that new EV revolution. And John, if today Ford is your big mover, tomorrow it's GM, because they are also coming out with their massive sales presentation and also revealing their latest products ahead of those orders as well.
Kriti, looking forward to the coverage of that with you from the morning. Kriti Gupta, of course, responsible for our chart of the day.
It was 30. Look at that. Now we're into our extensions. Actually, you hit a third TP. If you was in on that. Again, another nice re-entry.
A breakout yesterday of 12 basis points, the worst start to the year since 2000.
Yeah, you can get in on it when it hits 85 sometimes. Look at that. Perfect.
78. Coming up, the market moving events you need to be watching. That'll be next in our trading diary, as apparently I need to cool down with this. I still don't get this. If you have this on your desk, you'll have to let me know if these even work, and I'll try and figure it out.
Got 6 minutes to the news, so let's hope the PMI and the JOLTS go the same way, otherwise we're going to have a conflict. PMI is fairly important, obviously the JOLTS job openings is as well, so they both kind of got even leverage really. But the good thing is the consensus is to the downside, so if we see as expected, obviously we'll go for buys and we can go for sells on gold and vice versa. So that's how I'm looking at it. I've got no positions open. I've just got those cheeky little buys in on gold, and you can see there, look, there you go, look, see? That's how easy it is, you see. Most people would have panicked. You set a grey candle, could have got out of the trade, but there's no red, and no break of a key structure. And look at what you're looking at. You know you're looking at this pattern. Could come to here, could come, yeah, set it from here. There, when we break from here and we get the RSI coming red and going into a neutral, then we're looking to take the second leg M. We'll come to here, come all the way down here.
Access the financial world on.
But this setup here I got, you know, this is how you would do it. Why would you be exiting the trade when everything's bullish? This is just a minor pullback on a pattern that you know is happening. And that's what upsets me. It upsets me, but it just frustrates me that people end trades when they shouldn't. You've got to hold that nerve, and there's your reward for holding and getting the structure right. And it's pleasing when you map it out. And it comes good. And the more you do it, the more practice, the more confident you get with it. So that was a perfect little buy there on gold. You know, would have been 100 points, $100. Pretty fine. Now it's waiting for this news now. 4 minutes to go. US 30 still rocketing up. Look at that. Now it's hitting the heavy resistance. If it wasn't for the news now, I'd be looking at putting some sells in on the top of that. Look at RSI 91. This is crazy. This is beautiful. Yeah, that.
On the Russell up about 0.6 on the Nasdaq, rolling over just 22, negative 0.14%. Get to the bond market. Here's a stat from Ed Bollenbrook and the team here at Bloomberg. We have not had back-to-back consecutive years of losses.
3 minutes to go. We're going to go in on gold and we're going to go in on US 30. And we'll look for oil. Look at the oil on that news. 77. Perfect. And I said it would. I said it'd get to 77 again. Look at that. Bang. Again, you can't trade everything. But I would have got in. Look at that. As soon as it went bright green, look at that. Well away from our overbought zone. This is where you get the buy in. On that candle there, the price action. That's where you would take the buy. And I bet you there was an easy 100 points Yeah, look at that. 349, man. Ooh, great trade that would have been. Nice little W pattern. Perfect scalp there. Let's say you don't have to trade everything.
Meeting with his COVID response team at 2 p.m. this afternoon. We get the FOMC minutes on Wednesday, a ton of Fed speak in between, and then on Friday, your main event. It is Payrolls Friday, just around the corner. So
yes.
At around 400k is your estimate. From New York City, this is Bloomberg.
Thank you, Jonathan, guiding us through. Just need to print the latest where we are. And this will do us for today until we trade the oil news tonight. Got 3 minutes to go. This is looking good. Want it to be worse than expected and get some little pullbacks. You know, there could be a nice little drop. Who knows? This is the good thing about trading the fundamentals. Okay, let's print that as it just said. We're 1% up, nearly 0.75% up on the Dow, as we know, because we're looking at it live on our trading view chart here. Look, we're seeing that. I'm just going to pull my arrow out for the news.
When you think about schools in particular and children, where we've seen pediatric hospitalizations actually on the rise amid the spread of this variant, do you think keeping schools open is the right move?
I'm not saying it's going to be this buy. I mean, it could be a sell. I'm just getting the arrow ready to put in
masking,
back test.
Tests, especially during the surge of cases. I think it is very important for kids to be in school, and I think the chance that school becomes an explosive,
because then you work out which news events are worth trading, which ones go the way, ones don't. Make a list of it.
This wave, considering how quickly it is spreading through the population.
I think at a certain point it really has to slow down, and that's probably within a couple weeks. So
Okay, let's get on this. Load in. So about a minute away.
I think going to be
Good luck, everybody.
The question is, can we keep hospitalizations down enough during this period so we're not
Loading up. US 30 in gold. Yeah, all good. Here we go. Let's hope it's not mixed. We want something that is ideally all the same way. The down to the up. 20 seconds. By 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And it's bad news on ISM, 58.7. So worse than expected.
How fragile is the European energy complex?
The European energy complex has been incredibly fragile for a number of months now, and it just seems to just keep getting hit with new crises.
And same again on JOLTS as well. Good. Change range around.
Months after Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico is still in peril. Huge swaths of the island are still without power, running water, or access to medical care. Experts estimate that it will take years before these services are restored island-wide. Much of the blame has been placed on
US 30.
slow response.
That's going to peak down. I'm going to sell at the top there as well. I've already closed a few trades out. Get one loss. My broker didn't close quick enough. And we caught the buys on gold. I'll sell on one loss on gold for some reason, but caught sell on US 30.
Robert Anderson is a Puerto Rico resident of 4 years.
The island storm came in south of El Yunque, swept up towards San Juan, and out to Arecibo. Everything on the right-hand side.
Go, let's just post that. Let's see. Again, that's just the broker. Sometimes you get that with the brokers, they just don't close the trades quickly, but the direction was right. We actually made 33, 20, 17 and 14, but lost 17, so cancel that one out. So we made 53, We're again around about $100 so far, but let's have a look and see where we're still doing.
I see 2 Puerto Ricos.
Yeah, I'm just closing these 3 trades now. Brilliant. US 30 came good.
They may or may not have power.
On the dip, I bought that I sold at the top there.
Food, they're able to buy things.
So here's my TP1 now.
San Juan area, you can go 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Find areas that are devastated.
Sells on US 30 and buys on gold.
I'm working on the devastated side.
So what do we clear on that? We got 60, 60, and 28. So we got $200. Perfect. Perfect. And that was 3 sales on US 30.
He offered an extra car and a set of hands.
So we received an initial report from the nurse that was out in the area. We're headed to the northeast region of Utuado for some people that are in need of urgent medical assistance.
Dr. Sally Priester is a physician from San Juan. She filled a van with medical supplies at her own expense and brought along a team of nurses.
Look how high the RSI is. Perfect.
To be a 90-minute drive. But it didn't account
Perfect. When the news is going to dip, want to take advantage of that dip, we just have done. Yeah, I'm about the one red, but that's purely my broker. So
our first stop
gold. Yeah, look at gold spiking up. There's the news. This is what we're talking about.
He's been living alone in a back shed
Bad news.
2 months.
Was expected. There's gold. Perfect. That was a nice, easy buy on gold.
We called the VA. They're going to get him set up with what he needs, get him stabilized so he can
Even followed the pattern.
To an evacuation center or off the island. It's when the chain gets broken, when those families that are connected to them leave the island or take off. These guys get left at the end of the road, and it's tough.
FEMA was not officially part of Robert's team, and their arrival caught everyone by surprise.
Silver didn't really do anything, and you were right on that zone anyway. So again, sorry, I'm looking at oil. So silver.
FEMA is there to hand out bottles of water.
There we go. Silver did exactly the same.
They have a very specific role. They bring in ships, they bring in airplanes, they bring in tractor trailers with pallets of.
There was you traded silver. There would have been your news.
You're seeing one of the gaps
bad
here.
News.
We help fill that role.
The silver played ball as well.
And now they're struggling for real basic things. One of the risks that you run is people going from fear to hope.
Now we just wanted to see if we can get some drops on US 30. Where it says 91.
Mostly.
I want to catch some more sales.
Ghost in the machine. I'm lucky enough to be able to communicate with folks in FEMA, the state of Puerto Rico.
It's going to come down to this level here. Look, and you can just get in for
Not only was he the de facto leader of the mission, now with FEMA
220.
his own maps to survey storm damage.
So we're right here.
And delivered them to FEMA HQ free of charge.
I have pretty good reach.
Perhaps
So,
that's how he
get
managed
out.
to earn
Another $70. Yeah, another 50. £60, another $75 there on the sell. Oh, this is like just taking candy from a baby. You know, when you get the RSI this high, the news is the reverse.
Our next stop was on a mountaintop.
You just got to actually stop yourself from trading.
For their special needs brother and what was left of their house.
Probably we are the first.
Only if it breaks that zone. I mean, you can't get a better position. Look, you're on heavy resistance.
The patient has a Down syndrome.
See, it's hit.
All day in bed.
You're on a heavy resistance. Now it's breaking. Now you don't want to be doing anything. Wait for the next, right, for price action. Wait for the RSI. Wait for the RSI to dip down. Once it dips down, we can go and scalping again. This could go up. You know, this is manipulation. Remember now, the news is bad.
It's not getting better.
Quite a bit. On both 57, so the market got it wrong. This is pure manipulation. So just wait for it to back down. 93.
You can see San Juan from here, but you can't get there. It's like the Emerald City.
I mean, that's the highest it's been, the RSI. Look at that. Not been 93, 92. So,
On this stop, we caught word that a man living alone
again on a couple of cells. Broker decides to execute it or not.
Take a little detour, come up here and check out and see what's going on.
Sit on that heavy resistance, so it's kind of perfect. But again, you just don't want to be hanging around.
I'm asking about why he's alone right here.
Just hope they close out in.
Life happens. Yeah, I'm here.
And you can hold, people will hold, of course, you know. But your choice. I'm a true scalper. I like to see the green. Thank it.
This is not a job. To do this,
Look at that price action.
passion for what you can do. You're not gonna get paid.
It's said in disaster response and emergency response that the real
And we
first
should
responders are
come back down to this level here.
You don't need to wait for a lucrative FEMA
I have to wait a little bit while the market manipulates you out, but
In the end, do you feel like you're making a difference?
size 92. Look at this.
I don't really think about it in this.
There's such a massive bull run right from here. Plenty of re-entries.
Sleep at night.
Nice little correction now based on the news.
It is for the people that you affect.
Told you I was bearish on that.
Whether out of altruism
Sorry?
or the lure of a paid gig,
I told you I was bearish ahead of that news.
hopes to stay here to help shape Puerto Rico's future.
Oh yeah, I got the buys. It was good.
Yeah, I got the buy too, but I was still holding a sell from the top.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Look, it's doing the second leg M now. You see, perfect. As we said, look.
That's exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico can rebuild itself like nothing that's ever been.
Is it going to come down to the 1806 zone?
Have to do everything we can.
RSI. If it goes red, I'm in on the sell. On this, I want to see if I can get any more. See if I can get a sell on US 30. See if this resistance is going to hold up. It's going to break it. It's disappeared. It's breaking it. So no more buys. No more sells yet on that. Wait and see. See if that zone comes back. Oh, look at that. It's going grey. So let's just load up gold then. Let's see if this is going to break.
We're looking at 1805.5 is what I got a target on for a sell.
Perfect. I'm just going to go in for 100 points. That's $100. Right, it's done it. I actually just close them now because I'm already. Got two sells. I got 40 and 23, so £63. That was about $90 in and out while you were talking to me. So that will do me. I'll go again. Because like I say, we're trading the second leg. If it goes red, we can go back in again. It was steady spiking up, but still again, this is going to come down. You know this is going to come down from RSI 94. This is crazy. So the sells are going to come on US 30. Book some in. Gold's just gonna mess around. It's gonna break our baseline and the trend line. So look, this is why it's rangy. This is why the neutral zone keeps you on the right side of the trade. So wait, don't do anything till that's red. If it's green, it's a buy. If it's red, it's a sell. Simple as now on that. Wait. US 30, yeah, we're in profit on a sell here. Just gonna hold, let that pull back a little bit. 94 RSI, look, 93. This is great. There was the news, look, and then there was the dip. 91. Look at RSI. That's it. 93. And I meant the power's there. It's hitting. There's gonna be there'll be a blue zone form, I reckon, soon on this. Can't miss this trade. This you've got to get on this. Oh, do you see ranging now? Look to bounce. Told you, gone green. Look, gone green. But you've got a zone here, so if you're going for a buy, you want to be cheeky in and out. I would just hold and wait and see, because this could push back up now. That could be the end of the M. You know, it could be just to here. Look, totally fine. And it reforming and going back up again as US 30 is going to take a dip. So 93. About $100 up at the moment on the sell. Can end it at any time. I'm just holding, which I don't usually do because when I see this RSI, I've never seen it so high. That's crazy. New highs. So 93, look at that dipping down 91, come on. Find that support, it's only a minor. Two's hanging on. Tempted to end the trade, but so you have to sit on your hands. 93, 91, look. Now we're $150, now we're $200 in profit.
When I met him first online, I found him
91.
really sweet. I think I was the one who
Well, he's going to be 88, come on, 87. 90.
Saw her, she was
91.
beautiful, intelligent and kind, which was, I mean, something that I was looking for.
$90, come on, get into that 80 zone, get back into our zone.
That get married in India every year. Unlike their parents' generation, they're not from two close villages, but from two cities on opposite sides of the country. And their love didn't start through community matchmaking, marriage brokers, or classified.
Now we've got the blue zone again, great. So if you wasn't a buy, you see, you'd end the trade, because like I say, when you see the blue zone come, any of the blue zones, they're kind of really cool. Form resistance zones on the system, so this is cool. This is good to see in terms of wanting to get some sells in. So RSI's 92. Just sit on this. Gold, like I say, is ranging, starting to push, looking to break resistance. And you're looking to take a buy on gold now, up to that 120 point level, 1811. You can move this. You're potentially there now. Could be. Look at the RSI. Still below the key. Up, it's green. 60. Concentrating US 30. Look at that. Small price action. More price action. RSI 90. Come on, is it going to get back to 80s?
Anshu and Sumit's marriage was initiated by their parents, but modern Indian couples like them
89.
input than previous generations.
Now we're $250 up. Come on. 87, 88. The price action. Look at the candles. Yeah, it's going to get back into that zone.
There's a bear which basically we use for indicating a hug.
Yeah, that's our language basically. Bear icon for a hug.
Time flies when you're in love, and just 1.5 months after they
Just a little bit more. Come on. Get into that zone. 86. Come on. Come to daddy. Get back into that zone. And we're out.
The massive event usually lasts 3 days, has various ceremonies and celebrations, and involves the entire two families and hundreds of guests. Luckily, there are websites and apps for that.
we searched online, we got in touch with Wedding Brigade and they helped us finalize the venue, and it makes the search faster and efficient.
87. Ears are going to touch.
Like the Wedding Brigade are challenging
85.
planners in this $50 billion industry. It provides various services from booking banquet venues to buying wedding gowns. The website makes money by charging commission from vendors.
People don't want to be limited to what is available around them. They want to know the entire range of options available before making a decision. And now it's easy to find almost everything on one portal.
84. Look at that. Look at it bounce off it. It's perfect. I love to see that.
Anshu and Sumit are officially married in a ritual that has gone on for thousands of years, but their love started in a very new way.
86.
Might be changing the way couples meet, date, and
That
get
price
married
action.
in India, but they're definitely not changing everything.
The technology was only the first level help that we could get to find each other. Everything else was like very humanly and
Bouncing on that support. Into the zone now. 82. Live scalping, live troop scalping. That's what it's all about. So you trade the news events. The average line coming up to meet it. This is what you want to see. Ejecting out of the zone. Still dipping down. 82, 83. The market still wants to push on up, you see, even with all the bad news, but yeah. Look at the price action. It's running out of steam. You can see smaller candles, RSIs. Is it going to get back down to our 75 level? This is perfect. Perfect to watch live and see how the axe can help you. Back 86, 7, 86. Dows pull back to 0.80. Waiting on this. You back up, look at that. Side 88, we know where it's high. 93. Again, still no divergence yet. 9. Back to break even. Playing around because we've had such a good day. This is just interesting to see. We can catch either a buy or a sell. We end up with taking more buys, but the zone's disappeared now. You see, zone disappears means we could be back to bullish. 68% though, so still we're in profit again. So on the sell, come back again. Look, it's cool. Live action. How it works. This is the ultimate goal. 88. Back to $100 in profit again. This is what you have to do. I mean, again, if you was having this as a using it, which I don't always use, you know me, but there was the short from here. There's your stop loss there. You're down to here. Look, that's what I'm looking at. Shows you how the market is impervious, even the bad news. But going back down, look again, look at that price action, you see. RSI is back to 85, 84, we're $250 in profit again. This time I'll take it. Gets into that zone. Purely just, I would have ended the trade ages ago. This is purely for YouTube, just to show you how you have to sit on your hands, watch the price action if this is what you want to do. Yeah, this is how you do it. We're waiting to catch the sell of news. RSI is just got to get back into that zone. It's been rejected out of that zone 2 or 3 times, or gone back up to 88. And once it crosses our average line, as you can see, which is coming up into the zone, then you can take some more serious sales. You can load up bigger lot sizes for those of you who like doing that kind of thing. I trade the same lot sizes, come what may. But interesting to watch. RSI back to 88. It's almost like our zone of 85 is a resistance, a support level, as you can see. Broke it here, re-entry for a buy, come down. 88, pushing back up again, break even again. If I hadn't done such a good day, I would have been loading more cells in, but you know, again, our zone's disappeared, so again, when that disappears, you've got to be careful, because it means, yeah, we could be back to blue with 75%, look. Back bullish, so you know, we could end a loss here. Still, we're going to get a sell, and we're going to get the RSI come back into our zone, so it'd be stupid to end the trade right now. So get rid of that. Move the JOLTS side.
I'm a Senate reporter for Bloomberg. Around the time that Elizabeth Warren switched parties, she became a fierce opponent of a Republican drive to make it much harder to file for bankruptcy. She fought that for a decade. It ended up passing anyways.
While her efforts ultimately failed,
and RSI is back down to 89 again. Look at our average line. Look at this. Yeah, I've never seen our baseline, our RSI average line come up into the zone. That's, you know, this is the average of what it's been. We're saying it's averaging out now at 75. Ooh, crazy, what a run. Now we're back in profit again on the sell. This is fun. Love holding. This is, you know, I don't usually do this. This is again just to show you how I'm trying to read the system here.
Why should the US taxpayer alone carry Citi?
We're about $60–70. Oh, nearly $100 back in profit again now. RSI 88. So wanted to get touch. It'd be nice if it touched our average line at 87, and then that will be it. I'll end the trade. You know, my final trade. I say I'm going to trade the alternate API news. We'll do that in the trading group. And obviously, like I say, if you want to join our Discord group, get access to our Axe trading system and the mentorship program, then obviously just go to the website www.mohawkforex.com, and all the information is there, or the description on the YouTube below. Again, there's our zone. Look, beautiful. If you were in a buy, you'd have ended the trade. Now we're about $150 back in profit. RSI is 85, coming back into our zone.
No one should be above the law.
She called for Wells Fargo CEO John Stump to resign
Who's
from
that
the firm,
chart?
introduced the Bank on Student Loans Fairness Act, and reintroduced the 21st Century Glass-Steagall Act. In 2016, after staying silent during the Democratic primary battle, Warren finally endorsed Hillary Clinton and had some harsh words for candidate Trump.
Donald Trump is a loud, nasty, thin-skinned fraud who has never risked anything for
Brilliant. We just made 18% of their account today in one day. Perfect. That's how you do it. Here we go. Look, here's the drop. 70, 70. Yeah, we're out. We're doing. I'm getting other trades in. Yay, we're done. We're done. Perfect. Ooh, like 93, 97, 10 and 13. So we got over $300 there. All you had to do was wait while I'm talking to you guys. This is true scalping. Bang, there we go. That's me done. Yes, I could hold, but hey, look, I've taken enough out of the market. Just had to wait.
She was given an explanation. Nevertheless, she persisted.
That moment became
So we had one red out of all that.
Slogans, and that
Great stuff.
really galvanized a lot of support for her. It's been very hard for Republicans to get much of anything done this year, and that's at least in part to this resistance movement that Elizabeth Warren has helped champion.
We are here to fight back.
Enough of Elizabeth Warren. Like you, millions of dollars are being funneled to defeat Warren in the midterm elections in 2019. But it's the rumors of a 2020 presidential bid that is
Perfect. Look at that. RS-73. This is what I'm talking about. There's the news.
ruthless ad campaigns that many believe
Got
helped
it.
Trump win in 2016. It's anyone's guess if she will endure what Hillary could not.
You know, the question for Elizabeth Warren is whether she can go from being a liberal firebrand to somebody who...
So that's perfect. So, God. Today then.
218 in the House and drive an agenda, and whether she can bring together coalitions for political victories. That's the challenge, and we'll see what happens.
We've done 40 odd trades today. Crazy. 40 trades. This is why I got out, look, you see, because it'll bounce off the zone. I know it's going to bounce off here. I could take another sell. There'll be more sells coming on US 30. Like I say, I'm done. You know, we've smashed out what I expect daily TP today. I was only trading with a £5,000 account. Well, I started the new year with 5,200. So, you know, we've increased that by more than 10% in one day trading. So happy with that for a first day back. One red. Just going to print all my results into the trading groups, everyone can see. That's it. So I mean, if you can get anything 10% and above is amazing scalping. That's what you need to do. These people who say you just grow your account by 1% a day, go ahead, bore me some more. Like I say, I can find that money on the street. You know, that's not what trading's about. Yeah, it's cautious, but you know what you're going to get. You're not going to get anything. You might as well just put it in the bank. You know, you want to be looking for 5% minimum per day on your trading account. If you could do that, you're doing a right system. If you're doing 10%, you're perfect. If you're doing more than that, that's amazing. You know, so 5 to 10% is where you need to be per day on whatever size account, be it $100. You know, which I don't advise trading scalping with $100. I always advise a minimum of 1,000, $500 you could do a minimum of 1,000, and ideally if you want to do what I do, then you want to be you know, a $5,000 $6,000 account is ideal. Put the money in there and trade on demo until you've got the money. That's it. Don't, there's always a rush to trade and be a millionaire. You know, that's all you've got to do. Is if you say to yourself, I'm going to do 5,000, then just put some money away every month until you've got that. Don't touch your trading account, but trade on demo, practice the system, learn how we do the scalping. Then when you've got the money in there, then trade. But we're always too eager to try and stick $50 into a trading account and go, oh, make me 1,000 in a day. You can't do it. It's impossible. Well, I'm sure it might be possible, but it's a risk you're going to lose. You know, one of the guys just posted on 28% today. So, you know, growth, that's amazing. Anything above 5% is great scalping. It means you've got a system. And now look, you see, look, was I right to take my sells off the table? Because look at US 30 now, bounced back to 88. That's what you have to do. This is the art of scalping, is knowing when to get out the trade, not having all this risk to reward. I'm only going to go, you know, it doesn't. So what? I set my TP here. Look, this is where the US 30 might eventually come back to. In fact, you just see our line here. Look, and here's another zone. So you could take some more sells, but you take the green, take the profit, take the green. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to take the green money and end up doing what I'm doing, which is 30. You know, I average about 27 or 28 scalps a day. I've done 40 today because it's been such a good day, and obviously I've been, you know, trading more because of doing the YouTube, just to show everybody. And like I say, I've made about sorry, what was I saying? 10%. I've done 20. Let's start with 5,000. So 75. Oh, sorry, I've done 21%. 21% increase on my account today. Sorry, 21%. Percentages. So there you go. So that's that's like 2 days worth of scalping to me on that kind of account. So, you know, that's a month's wage to some people. It can be done. You need to have the right system, the right team, like we've got here at Mohawk Forex. The right system, trading the fundamentals is the way to do it. No, I mean, look at this. You see, if you'd got in on the sell from there, you'd be another $100 here. Look, I could have taken that, and if it crosses here, look, I can go in again for the sell. This is going to come back. Yeah, that's your TP1 now. Here's your TP2. Yeah, there's going to be a correction. There always is when the RSI spent this high.
Donald Trump and his team is that, you know, your views of Islam are ignorant.
He's the first Muslim mayor of
And that's the group. Everyone's watching that, so just keep watching the sell.
This is how Sadiq Khan went from the son of Pakistani immigrants to a lawyer, lawmaker, and now the mayor of London. Khan's parents emigrated to Pakistan.
I'll be back later to trade the oil.
Mother, a stay-at-home seamstress. 10-strong Khan family squeezed into a 3-bedroom flat in South London. He wanted to be a dentist, but TV in the 1980s convinced him otherwise. Objection! LA law with swagger and ill-fitting
40 trades, only 1 loss, so that's not bad. That's a pretty good day. And the 1 loss, I don't know where that came from. I think the broker just closed me out when I pressed to end the trade and it didn't do it. So sometimes that happens. So we're done. That's been another successful live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I say, we'll be back later on. Yeah, we're back later on to do this API oil news in the group. Thanks to Justin, thanks to Neil, Arena, everyone who's been involved, and watch this US 30. It's still going to be a sell. There's still potential here to get some more pips. But
and watch for the correction on gold.
Yes, correction on gold. So a quick look at gold as well. Oh yeah, look at that, exactly the same.
He has been very clear about his opposition to violence, opposition to terrorism, and has
Yeah, another buy here, look, up to that zone.
a more open and peaceful Islam.
That's going to do the same.
One of Bloomberg's Westminster correspondence.
Here is a man who is a Muslim.
The gold's followed the news really well. Gold's gone reverse the news, which we expect it to do. Bad news, good for gold, and gold has been as good as gold. It's actually gone the way with no manipulation, where the US 30, you know, we're seeing all the stuff about the Omicron and stuff and everything, and you know, the bullish nature of the market, breaking records high, just wants to go with it, and it's struggling to, you know, even, you know, respect news. But it will come. There'll be a correction, and like I say, you've just seen me win $200-300 there just in that short space of time, just by holding and watching our RSI and price action. And again, we can be going in again for another sell once RSI pops out that zone. If it goes red, you've got to be in for a sell. You're stupid not to take a sell on that. You know, so just wait. Grab a coffee, wait, you know. Me, I'm going to go and eat. I've been to the gym and it's time for me to eat, fuel up, and then I'll be back later on to trade the news. But that's a great first live stream for 2022. Thanks to the team for joining me. And we'll catch you later on. And of course, trade safe. See you on the next live stream, which will be tomorrow. See you then.
That London has today chosen